All right. This lesson, chapter 4.3, is actually fairly quick to go through because most of them are repeats. Um, but doing it might be a little bit of a different situation for most of you. Now, the issue with some of this is when I copied this, it doubled some of my information. Okay. Now, um, in your XYZ program, now instead of saying 1975, it says year 0 and year 5 and year 10 and 15 and 20 and 25. Okay? But when we first started doing this, it said 1975, etc. Now, the number of manatees killed by watercraft in Florida waters has been increasing since 1975. Data are shown in 5-year intervals in the table. Blah, blah, blah. It still shows this. And you're going to have to draw the line of best fit. But first thing you do is parts B and C. Well, to find the answer to part B, you're going to use this and this to find your slope. So 78 minus 6 and 25 minus 0 is 25. So 72 divided by 25 gives you 2.88. All right. Now, these are going up. So this is going to be a positive. And there's going to be an X. Now, we need a number by itself closest to 6. Well, that's got a negative number. If there's a negative, throw it away. Now, a number by itself closest to 6. That is not it. So this has to be your equation. 4.7 is real close to 6. 2.6 is real close to 2.88. And what they did was they used every single point here to come up with this equation. They didn't use some of the points, they used all of them. Now, use this regression equation to estimate the number of manatees killed by watercraft in 1997. in 97 years is how many years after 1975, our beginning year. So we take 1997 minus 1975, and that gives us 22. So that's what we put into T right here. So 4.7 plus 2.6 times 22, that gives us 61.9, and it says round to the nearest whole number. 9 is above 5, so we round up. The last thing you're going to do is graph. 4.7 is almost 5. Okay? So when x equals 0, our y is almost 5. Then we're going to put x equals 25, because that's our biggest number there. We could, yeah, I would put 25. Into Desmos or into the Mr. Goodbuddy, and we get 69.7. So that's almost 70. Okay? So then I would go here. Right here is 10. So right about there is about 5. And then at 25 is almost 70. So halfway between here. And these dots are really big. So it's going to give you a pretty good size range of values. So it should be pretty lenient as far as your score on that. Numbers 2 through 7 are very close to number 1. Most of the time they will give you the X value. Occasionally it'll give you a Y value. Now this bird's nest problem, I really don't like it, but it hasn't ever gone away, and let me explain why I don't like it. It says ignoring the incorrect data, but it doesn't ignore the incorrect data. It uses every single one of these values to come up with your equation. So, let me tell you what that equation is. And I want you to put this into your cheat sheet. I want this one, and that you would say bird's nest predators. Bird's nest predators. And you would write this equation on your cheat sheet. It's one of the few where you're allowed to actually have the problem written out. And this is the only part of that problem you're allowed to have written out. All right? Anyways, use the regression line to estimate the probability of predators. Predators is X. Or no, meters, sorry. Meters is X. Percent is Y. So I put 70 in for X. So negative 0.54 times 70 plus 58.7. And that gives me 20.9%. Then, if the probability of predators finding a nest is 15%, so then you put 15 equals negative 0.54x plus 58.7, and then you solve. So minus 58.7 so 15 minus 58.7 gives us negative 43.7 equals negative 0.54x. Then divide both sides by negative 0.54. And that gives us approximately 80. And when this gives you a big long number, put at least 3 to 5 decimal places. So I've got 80.92592.593. Yuck. So I rounded it here at the 5th decimal place. Now, put 120 in here, so for x. So negative 0.54 times 120 plus 58.7, and that gives us negative. Can you have a negative percent of predators? You can have 0, but you can't have less than 0. So this is always no. Now, number 9 is like number 8, but it gives you the equation. Number 10 gives you the equation. All right? I think there is another one that gives you uh, something like this where you need to find the equation. Uh, there is a YouTube video in the YouTube uh, video list that shows you how to use the stat lists to find linear regression. Reg with your calculator. And it is a wonderful video. And I dare you to look it up. And that's the end of this homework.